Yes. Keep the hand up. Keep this up. Hand up so it comes straight through the shoulder. Again. And lunge. Yes. Head parry. Molinet. Volt. Molinet. Here he comes behind you. Whack him! From here. Yes? Here's a word of advice for you, little brother. When the time comes for you to fight for king and country, you avoid the provincials like the plague. Join the regulars. Pay, fiddles, even the boots are better.
I wish you were my brother, not my half-brother. I feel all of you as my brother.
So I am, George. So I am. Forever.
I, Augustine Washington, being of sound mind and body, do assert this to be my true will and testament. To my eldest son, Lawrence, the firstborn of my first marriage, I do hereby will and bequeath the farm and properties called Hunting Creek, together with all slaves and perquisites that belong thereto. To my son Lawrence, I also bequeath the iron ore mine, along with all laborers, machinery, etc., that belong thereto.
Lawrence gets Hunting Creek, Augustine gets Pope's Creek, and he leaves Ferry Farm to you. Two best to the sons of the first wife, the poorest place to my son.
Lawrence and Augustine are older than me, Mama.
Lawrence and Augustine are the spawn of a wife long dead. I am the living widow. Where was his consideration of me?
Father knew your share would be my share, Mama.
What share is that, George? Ferry Farm, ha! Your brother not only gets the choice property, he inherits the quality neighbors. Well, that's one inheritance I do not begrudge him. I would not take 10 steps out of my way to nod good morning to any Fairfax. Oh, they pretend to be gracious enough, but I know what they really thought of us. If I never see the other Washingtons again, it'll be too soon. Miles and miles of miserable roads, and what have we gained? Nothing.
Welcome back to Ferry Farm. Welcome back, children. Here we will live out the rest of our days, thanks to the gracious goodness of your father, gone to his eternal rest.
I'm hungry, Mama.
You are not. I want all you children straight in bed and with no fuss because I have the migraine. We shall have to ration the provisions from now on, Sarah. We do not return this evening any richer than we left this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Straight to bed! Tally ho! Tally ho!
Master George, your mother wants you. Right now.
George, would you rather be a surveyor or a soldier? Yes, a soldier.
Soldier, indeed. At least as a surveyor, you could earn for the family. You've always been good at mathematics.
Maybe I'll be both. A soldier who can draw perfect maps. And get paid twice.
I'll settle for your getting paid now for any job. This family needs money. Enough said.
Help! Step up! Step up! Step up! Help!
George! Lawrence! You already taller than any of us. Will you never stop growing?
How you feeling? Is your congestion all gone?
Oh,
How long you
felt
been?
better.
You hungry? You thirsty?
But George should make new friends. He is a Washington, ma'am. He can move in society. It's time he saw Williamsburg. I should admire to take it. Oh, I like that, Lawrence.
But we are poor relations who must work, work, work the livelong day. Tasting the city life is for those who live at Hunting Creek.
which I now call Mount Vernon, ma'am, in honor of Admiral Vernon, under whom I served at Cartagena.
How interesting. But you didn't come all this distance to tell us that.
Well, actually, I came to visit with my flesh and blood.
Your father's flesh and blood?
And to extend an invitation to yourself, ma'am, and to my father's flesh and blood.
An invitation?
To a wedding. Anne Fairfax and I are to be married.
Someday, Betsy, you'll have a wedding like this, huh?
She already has enough fancy notions in her head without you putting one more there.
Mama, please, can't we just enjoy the day?
Well, all Washington's all in one great bunch. What luck. I congratulate you, Mom.
Whatever for?
Lawrence being your...
My stepson?
Yes, quite. It's all family, ma'am. All family. How are you, Judge?
I do well, Mr. Fairfax. Thank you, sir.
I hear great reports of your horsemanship. Your half-brother, Lawrence, cannot sing your praises too loudly.
Oh.
You ride the hounds at Fair Farm?
There's very little of that sort of thing, Mr. Fairfax. We've no time to waste.
Really? Well, then you must agree to ride with us, George. Have you seen our stables?
No,
Well, they're worth a visit. Come. If you'll excuse us, Miss Washington.
Yeah.
Come. Strike your fancy?
It's as fine an animals I've ever seen, sir.
You must stop the sir business. It's too formal. Call me George. No. George and George will be hearing echoes. Call me what my sister calls me, which is Will. I was christened George William.
Are you sure?
Of course. We're more than friends now. We're relatives. And so I may make a bold presumption. If you do come to ride with us, can you manage the, correct
Boots and breeches for the hunt? Yes, I can. They're not as grand as they have in the mother country, sir.
Yeah, Will. Grand can be found in Virginia. Come along. Thank you, John. To the man informed. Take this one off.
What? No.
You know, London is amazing. Just to see it makes you proud to be a free-born Englishman. I purchased this in England just before I sailed for home. This won't strike your fancy? Come on. I think I'm but scratching the surface of hidden desires.
Well, it's the largest I have. But in any case, you shall have the boots for your first hunt.
No, I couldn't.
No, you can't refuse. They're a gift from a relative. Unless, of course, they don't fit. Sit down.
Oh, well, I can't believe it's actually happening.
Father, do you remember George Washington?
Oh, yes, of course. Our young giant.
George, your first lesson in family diplomacy. It might be better if we let Father earn the mask of the fox today. You'd take a liking to you that much sooner, you see.
Father's a good man, George. Just a touch pompous. He does know one thing, though. If you want to make your way in this world, you must grab the coattails of an important man. You think all this belongs to Father. It doesn't. It belongs to Lord Thomas Fairfax, a cousin. My father is merely his land agent.
I didn't know that. The king bestowed about 5 million acres on Lord Thomas. Father sells off parcels to fatten his lordship's purse, hoping and praying that someday his lordship will bequeath us 1 million acres. Even his prize hound belongs to Uncle. Monarch, you behave now. We must make sure this arrogant gent does not tear his chosen lady apart during the amorous minuet.
You listen to your master, huh? Behave.
Now here's his master, your born dog handler, George. This royal gent better get on with it. These colonial dames don't produce a litter with a nose for the fox. His lordship will have our heads. You laugh.
Welcome to Virginia, your lordship. You brought glorious weather with you. I trust the voyage over was not too terribly trying.
I despise the ocean, William.
Yes. Well, everyone is anxious to be presented to you. You remember George, William?
A joy to see you again, Uncle.
Yes.
And his good friend, George Washington.
Your lordship, I am very pleased to be included in this.
Yes.
And this is... Oh, yes. You'll want to refresh yourself before dining. Dear Anne and all the ladies are preparing, as I understand it, a feast fit for a king.
Let them wait.
Forgive me, your lordship, but...
If you insist in trying to please me, William, bring me my dogs.
Your dogs?
The pack you've bred for me. I want to try them out.
Now, your lordship? Now.
Come, my beautiful. You beautiful devils. You beautiful devils. You beautiful devils. Aren't you beautiful?
Lads, as well as you ride, it might be best to let his lordship earn the mask of the fox.
Of course, Father.
Ladies, Lord Fairfax.
You must be very charming.
Forgive us, ladies, for our tardy arrival. We stopped in the woods to bag you a gift.
Will! What a surprise! What are you doing here? This is where you work the livelong day, eh? How long are you with us? All and sundry Washingtons well, ma'am?
Well, and working hard, thank you.
Would you like a drink? No, thank you. I'm too full of news. Good, I hope. Judge for yourself. My uncle, true lord of the manor, wants a survey of his property. I think you know. I'm to organize an expedition. Why, you'll go along? Yes, of course I will. And so will you. Me will? Don't thank me. Uncle specifically asked for that young stallion who rides like the wind to help chart his father's lands.
An expedition into the wilderness.
To the foot of the Shenandoah, ma'am.
Savage country.
Oh, well, we shall meet savages, but...
You will do so without George.
Mama! It will be a valuable experience for him, ma'am. Working with expert surveyors, learning his trade in the field.
And sleeping in the field and freezing in the field far from the comforts of home or family, risking life and limb to make free maps for my Lord Fairfax. I say no, he will not go.
Mrs. Washington, nothing was said of free maps. George would be paid for his work. Well paid.
How much?
$1 shilling a day.
Time to turn in, lads. First one to bed gets the softest straw.
We'll be along in a minute, Mr. Gett. Is it all as exciting as you imagined? Every bit.
Anything else I can get you, lads?
No, thank you. No.
Hey, Billy! Another soldier bit the dust. Bring up reinforcements.
You've had enough, Caleb Quinn.
Oh, yeah? Well, any man who can stand and fight ain't had enough.
It's time to turn.
Make this your last, dearie, or you'll not find your way to where you want to go this night.
Oh, now. I'll find my way to you no matter what. I make it swear, Hey, that's something to dream on, huh, lads? A broad bottom and a warm heart. That's better than kingdoms. Lift one with me, buckos. Huh?
We don't know you, sir.
Caleb Quinn, guide and trapper, at your service. Hey, if you've a mind, I could take you to hell and back. For the red devils know that you've been and gone. That's lightning in a glass. I know. I distill it myself.
More spirits.
That game if you are, Will. We have to get up before dawn.
This will get you up for creation. Hey, to Millie, huh? My heart's desire.
Millie!
Well, come on. Bottoms up. It's said that your first drink of it can make you see into the future. On.
To the future.
Well, you didn't see very far, Will.
If it's so funny, what did you do with yours as he did? Down it in one gulp. One gulp. I say no.
Hey.
Well, I'll be...
What did you see of the future, huh? Water.
knew it was so big, so rich, so green and untouched. Wherever we go, I feel that we're the first to ever walk this land.
Indians are out here somewhere.
When will we see them?
Best if we never do.
Oh, all right. My legs caught.
Oh. Just relax. Oh. Give me your arm. Oh, my leg. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. Okay. All right. Up. Oh. Oh. Up. Keep on going. Very good. Come on.
Indians. Back down the hill?
It's too late.
Then what?
Try, smiling.
What is it? Sorry.
We'll start a new fashion in Williamsburg. Soft shoes.
The bootmakers will never forgive us.
Good hunting, my friends. Until we meet again.
so many wonders I couldn't count them all. And, well, of course there were the Indians.
Indians? George saw Indians.
Strange, but impressive-looking creatures. With bows and arrows. And feathers, and they had drums.
They really chop people's scalps off?
Yes. Yes.
Can I try on your Indian shoes?
They're called moccasins. Hey, 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 hey,
George Washington, you finish your story.
Will Fairfax says that nature plays a trick on us. It draws us further and further west by making it more and more beautiful. I know that if ever I travel to the end of this land, I'm sure I'll come to paradise.
And you'll know you're dead and buried. You are all supposed to be in bed instead of listening to foolish notions about exploring the wilds and looking for paradise, which no doubt also belongs to the Fairfaxes. Tomorrow I want more work and less talk. That goes for you too, George.
So much for paradise.
Fellow member.
A damned singular honor for two of one family to be elected to the House of Burgesses. Will and Lawrence. Can't say I approve of politicians, though. Found them rather dull cheese in the House of Lords. But from the looks of you two, you can't do much harm. See that you don't.
We can but try, Uncle.
It's a long ride, Will.
Yes. Goodbye, Father.
Farewell. Well, George.
Goodbye, Uncle.
You will take care of my two ladies.
Only if you promise to take care of that cross properly. And, George, you must come and see us in Williamsburg. Yes.
Cross my heart. I let her every day.
I shall perish of loneliness.
George, when you marry, you must choose a wife who has all the right answers. As I did.
I do implore thee, O benign Caesar, to spread the great cloak of thy
Benignity.
Morning, Anne.
Morning, Uncle.
What are you going to show me this morning, George?
Well, sir, I thought we might ride due west to the foothills of the Blue Ridge. It's a portion of your property that you've never seen.
Lead on.
Oh, your book.
Oh, and George, no dancing practice next week. My father and I are going to Williamsburg.
To see Lawrence and Will.
Yes, and to meet a young lady named Sally Carey. We just received Will's letter, and he does nothing but rave about her beauty, her charm, her everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he intends to marry her.
Our Will?
Yes, our Will.
Marriage? It'll ruin the poor lad for the hunt. Lead on.
This is my good friend, George Washington.
This is Lawrence's little brother, George? I've been hearing all this talk about Lawrence's little brother. I never expected such a handsome giant. I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance, little George.
Ma'am.
Not ma'am. You'll call me Sally.
And now, enter the sacred portals of your new home. Welcome to Belvoir.
What's happened? He's been coughing up blood, George, and we're all petrified.
Whatever for? I'm fine now.
He is not.
Don't let my dearest wife alarm you, George. It's over. I just...
You see? I will not go.
You will, or I shall become sicker.
But to leave you.
I insist. Else you disappoint father, brother, and new sister.
Please.
I promise I shall rest all the while you are gone. So go, my dear. Take George in my place and dance the night away.
Me?
You. I order it. I'm your superior officer, and I order you. Face the music.
Mine, isn't it?
Oh, no, Miss Sally.
You'd rather eat than dance with me?
No, I only meant that I...
You only meant you're not sure I can keep up with you with those long legs. Oh, do try me, George. Do give me a chance.
No, I only meant that I'm a very bad dancer. I really cannot...
You are much too modest, Mr. Washington, sir. Sister Anne says you're her best pupil.
I'm her only pupil. Well,
Get in place.
George, you came. I'm so glad.
In my opinion, you're very quick to learn. For a man. Do you know what I'm saying with this?
No, I...
Then you must pay attention. Many young women will fancy you, George. Mm-hmm. And you must learn what they'll be saying with a fan.
Fan?
Oh, it has a language all its own. That means, follow me. In other words, she wants to be alone with you.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yes. Right hand open, right hand draws it across forehead, and eyes mean we're being watched.
Oh.
Now, if she draws it across her cheek, it means I love you. And if she puts the fan to her lips, I'd like to be kissed. Now, you're ready to converse by fan with any temptress.
I had no idea there was a language. I've kept you from the other guests.
Oh, no,
from
George.
the you must be just,
I enjoy your company.
But I'm...
Oh, you must learn to appreciate what you are. Tall, handsome, and ready to devastate the ladies. Devastate them. Oh, dear. I've neglected my wonderful husband.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm very glad you're getting to know my precious Sally, George. Isn't she beautiful?
Yes.
Very.
Well, you've embarrassed George.
Oh, that's the last thing I want to do to my very best friend. May I have the pleasure, my dear?
But the pleasure is mine. Dance with all the prettiest ladies, George. Now that you know the language of the fan, who knows what adventures await you? Nothing more you can do. You've been at that bedside day and night.
Yes, but how can...
George, you need fresh air. Or you come down with a very malady that now tortures your poor brother.
I hate to leave him, even for a moment. He gave so much of himself to me under very difficult circumstances when I was growing up.
You love him.
He can't die.
George?
I was sorry to lose your brother's services. A good man. What is this?
It's a recommendation from Lord Thomas Fairfax that I be appointed to succeed Lawrence as adjutant of Virginia.
His lordship, eh? Yes. Well, adjutant is a very important post. What are your qualifications?
Well, I've been a surveyor on the frontier, sir, and with the money earned, I've purchased lands in the wilderness. I know this country as well as any man. And I am, sir, my brother's brother.
Well, you're in luck, young man. As you know, I have decided to divide the colony into 4 separate military districts. I might find it possible to appoint you adjutant of District 4.
The smallest.
It carries a stipend of £100 a year and the rank of major.
Would it be possible, Governor, to appoint me to District 2? It includes my own county of Fairfax.
It is also the largest.
Is it, sir?
I must say, you have enough gall for someone twice your age. I have a great many candidates for these posts, each one older and more experienced, each one decorated in military service.
Your only advantage is your connections, so I suggest you content yourself with District 4.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Major. Now I should like to consult with you upon a matter of great import. The King of France, not satisfied with the vast province of Canada, has decided to make open trespass on British soil. He has sent soldiers into our territory, thus flouting British sovereignty established by God and King. They build forts, trade with our Indians, and otherwise encroach upon our sacred rights. I have received orders from His Gracious Majesty to send an emissary demanding that they depart.
Sir.
Before you recommend someone, sir, I think you should know that the French are a treacherous people. This emissary will be in considerable danger.
Yes, sir, but...
Which is why I need someone who can travel hundreds of miles through unknown mountains, has experience with the Indians, and is possessed of a hearty constitution. You were about to recommend someone, sir?
Your description fits only me, sir.
Greetings. Greetings.
Pleasure, Steve. Pleasure, sir. George, this is your interpreter for the French, Jacob Von Braun.
A pleasure, sir. And this is my guide, Caleb.
Quinn?
You know each other.
Yes, well, we spent an interesting evening in Mr. Quinn's company a while
Always
back.
at your service, gentlemen. Always at your service.
Pleasure.
I got a little something here to warm us on our trip, Mr. Washington.
You should be well taken care of. I must leave you here. Sally will worry if I'm not home by dusk.
Thank you, my friend.
Tell me, how do they euchre a smart lad like you into carrying the king's message?
Oh, it's an honor, sir.
Fool's errands, more like it.
What's that supposed to mean?
I didn't tell you.
Tell me what?
That French commandant has agents living with the bloody savages. Why, he needs only whisper. British scalps will be lifted all along the frontier.
You're a cheerful fellow, aren't you, Mr. Quinn?
Oh, keep your laughing, Mr. Washington. To our last breath.
How did they know we were coming?
We've been watched every step of the way since we crossed the Alleghenies.
Well, the French have eyes everywhere?
They're called Indians.
I have brought this Medoc with me from Canada. I am grateful, Major, that you provide the opportunity to drink it. Santé.
Your health, Commandant. Superb.
Ah.
Now, about the letter.
I have not only read the letter, but I have sent it to my superior. We await even now an envoy with a reply.
As to the contents.
Ah, yes. The matter of royal sovereignty. That, my young friend, is the impasse. You English say the territory belonged to George II. We French say it is the property of Louis XV.
My king desires that the French do not encroach on any lands south of Canada.
And if we refuse to obey the order of your king?
Then my governor would be empowered to drive you out by force of arms.
Do not make idle threats, young man.
I do not make idle threats, sir. I know my king, and I do not involve his name frivolously.
There, you see. This is how it begins. Perhaps we are striking the first blow in this very room. Major, you and I could be starting a war.
That commandant's playing cat and mouse with you, Major. His messenger arrived last night. He figures to just let you shiver in the wind till he's good and ready. But that's your answer.
Major, the commandant awaits you.
We are not enemies yet. Here is the reply. We do not find ourselves obliged to obey your king. We are here to stay. This territory is French. Bon voyage, Major.
You look like an Indian. I can't tell you how good it is to see you again. Alive and with your hair on your head. Come. We were all so worried about you.
But after he plied me with a fine French wine, I found Saint-Pierre charming for a Frenchman.
Know every word. George. Oh, George, how wonderful to have you back. How many weeks, months, I should say. Did you see any Indians? Or those terrible Frenchmen? Oh, Sally, look at him.
George has been telling us about the expedition. Go on, George. Would you sit down?
Well, actually, I have more vital news. We are to fight the French.
Fight?
Yes. If diplomacy will not get them out of the Ohio Valley, we must drive them out.
How, George?
The House of Burgesses will fund a regiment of 300 men. We hope to enlist Catawba and Cherokee Indians from the Carolinas. 3 companies of British regulars will be sent from the other colonies. Colonel Joshua Fry is commanding officer, and I am to be second in command.
My boy, how extraordinary.
But your dream come true.
How proud Lawrence would be.
With what rank?
I am Lieutenant Colonel.
Extraordinary.
Oh, George! My turn, sir.
Heavens, I've never seen a Lieutenant Colonel blush before.
George! George is home!
Good to see you again, Mother. And be home with the family.
About time you took care of your own instead of watching over my lord's sovereign empire. I trust you're home for good this time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mother. I'm to form an army to defend us against the French.
I leave tomorrow.
You cannot.
Hey, Mr. Washington! Been looking forward to this, Mr. Washington.
Your hair's grown.
Hey, pretty uniform.
Well, Mr. Van Dam.
Congratulations, Colonel Washington.
Thank you very much. You look thirsty. Come in. Come in. Hard journey, huh?
I got something for you, Mr. Washington.
Good, good.
So, our mission is to strengthen the garrison on the Monongahela River. But our commanding officer, Colonel Fry, hasn't arrived yet.
And he won't. Sir, the word is that, well, he's either sick or just got no stomach to fight the French. So what's our first job, Commander?
Well, if we are to push further into the wilderness, I need more horses, food, pay for the men. I write to Williamsburg to complain, and I get nothing but silence. And I need more fighting men. Where can we find them?
Indians.
My scouts report that the French are sending presents by the wagon loads to all the Indians. I've got nothing to counter with.
Well, I think we know a few Indians who still hate the French. Better keep down, Colonel. We're too big to miss.
Only 2 sentries on duty.
The rest of them are in those tents, fast asleep. Frenchie likes to snooze after he eats. Now, come on, get down, Colonel.
Aux armes! Aux armes! Aux armes! Fire!
John Washington has murdered an ambassador.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, we will observe the rules of good order. Please, gentlemen. We attacked the French on all sides, and after an engagement of several minutes, we killed 10 and took 20 prisoners.
No state of war exists between England and France. Has our hot-tempered young colonel assumed the authority to start such a war by shooting French ambassadors?
Sir, shall we allow Colonel Washington to speak for himself? These officers pretend they were coming on an embassy mission, but as you will see by these instructions, Washington has enclosed captured French papers which establish that the party he attacked was, in fact, sent to spy on us.
My God, do you realize what that means, Governor? No matter what young Washington says, he did kill an ambassador.
An ambassador and a spy.
You have no proof.
A point we can debate here in this room, far removed from a battlefield, but one Colonel Washington could not pause to consider in the fury of battle.
We will observe the rules of good order.
Consents would help more, I think.
Please,
consider it in the
gentlemen.
You there? Unload those rope coils.
Hey, Fred!
Take them over
Come
there.
over here, get your hand with that log!
Who are working over there. I want it killed right here. 8 inches on center. There. Sir, British regulars are arriving.
Halt the troop, Sergeant.
Hold your fire!
Colonel Washington, Captain James Mackay, His Majesty's regular company of foot here at the request of your Virginia governor and burgesses.
Welcome to Fort Necessity, Captain Mackay. believe the first order of business is to provide cover for the men and rum for the commander. Perhaps it's not the king's own, but it'll do.
Indeed.
To His Majesty, King George II.
Aye, to His Sovereign Majesty. Now, sir, may I have your muster roll so I may see how many effectives I have to oppose the French?
Captain, this is my command. I will see your muster.
I think not. Any regular officer outranks any provincial officer.
But I have been in command here for 6 months.
And I have been an officer in His Majesty's regular service for 18 years.
My commission comes directly from Governor Dinwiddie.
And mine from the king himself.
By God, he's my king too, sir. And I resent your assumption that His Majesty is as contemptuous of us provincials as you regulars are.
Colonel, I was scouting about 4 miles north of here when I spotted the Frenchies heading this way. There's a lot of them. They got savages with them, too.
We'll make our stand here. Get the men to it.
They're coming fast.
If you won't fight under me, Captain Mackay, I would be obliged to have you fight with me. Spread out, men. Fill in the gap, soldiers. Move the wagons out!
Yes, sir!
Spread out, men! Spread out! Keep your feet high!
There's too many of them and too few of us. We can pile up tons of earth and logs and it won't change that. This damn tumble-down fort's gonna be a trap, I tell you. Sir. Frenchies, Indians. Take cover, they're on it! Take cover! Take cover, they're on it! Tirez! No more standing up looking around. You get your head blown off, sir.
Hold steady, men. Steady. Drive them back!
How can we, sir? There's too many of them. I don't believe that, Caleb. You better, sir. Because they're not going to stop. They want to end this right now, before sundown, before the spirits come out of the graves.
Stand fast, soldiers! Stand fast!
The situation is hopeless. I suggest to ask for terms. Surrender? That is for you to decide, sir. It's your command. Soldier, get down!
Sir, they might want to offer us surrender terms. Shall I go out under a white flag and talk to them, Colonel?
Colonel! Yes.
accusing you of actually assassinating Jumonville. And in signing the surrender, you agreed with them.
The terms of the surrender are generous, Governor. The French protected us from the Indians. And we gave up the fort with full military honors.
Didn't you understand the damn preamble? Obviously, you and Captain Mackay signed without reading it.
Von Braun had to translate, sir. We did insist on certain changes. 100 of my men were either dead or wounded. One word from the French commander and the Indians would have fallen on us. I had to decide.
Colonel, the French have tricked you into signing a confession of murder, which means that you alone, Colonel Washington, have given them the legal right to break the peace and declare war on us.
My conscience is clear, sir. In dealing with you and on the field of battle.
You're quite sure of that?
You weren't there, Governor. How can you know what it was like?
Your insolence, sir, I will not stand for it.
And I will not stand for being treated as an incompetent provincial.
Don't raise your voice to me, young man.
I did what I thought had to be done. No man can do more.
Mr. Washington, I am reorganizing our military forces. There will no longer be a single regiment, but 10 independent companies. You can have one of them if you so choose, with a demotion of rank from colonel to captain. You, sir, have helped the French tie a string of firecrackers to the tail of the British lion, which will stir a commotion in the Houses of Parliament and Versailles for many years to come. Good day to you, sir.
But Dinwiddie's not the last word, George. We Fairfaxes are not without influence in the Tidewater, you know.
No, Will, if the governor thinks that he can protect the frontier with empty resolutions and broken promises, then try. No words can describe the feelings, Will, what it's like to lead men against an overwhelming enemy. To see them slaughtered before your very eyes. All my life, I'd heard of the thrill of battle, the glory. And when I first heard the bullets whistle, I thought there was something charming in the sound. But in the end, it's nothing but blood. Wounded crying out. I'm done with it, Will. It's over.
Good day, Mr. Fairfax. How good of you to call, my boy. I've missed our little talks while you've been off fighting the French and their savages.
Yes, well, I've missed our little talks too, sir.
What are your plans now that you've put the army behind you?
Well, I'm afraid the army has put me behind it. I've been attending my mother's affairs.
She's well, I trust?
Well, as well as mother ever can be. It's clear to me now that she'll not hand over my inherited property as long as she lives, so I must find a place of my own.
Oh, yes, quite. Well, if there's anything I can do to help.
Yes, sir, there is. As your daughter has remarried and moved into her new husband's plantation, I would like to lease Mount Vernon from Anne, if you approve. Property is all anyone can be certain of, sir. The rest is wind in the trees.
Well put, young man. And I certainly can understand your hunger for land, hunger that I had when I was your age. But does this talk of Mount Vernon mean that you've given up your dream of serving in His Majesty's regular forces?
Yes, well, my military career is over. I'm a farmer now, and glad to be.
You're quite certain of that?
Never more so.
Then the house is yours, George. And what comes with it? In exchange for 15,000 pounds of tobacco to be paid to Anne each year. Agreed?
It's agreed, sir.
And if the good lords see fit to take Anne first, then you shall have clear title.
Thank you, sir.
It's what your dear brother wanted. Come.
my inconstant friend. And what do you have to say for yourself?
Sally, I'm sorry.
Here alone for almost a week, and you've made no effort to call at Belvoir. Why, sir, have you been avoiding us? I demand an answer on pain of instant embarrassment.
Well, I didn't want you to see the house till I'd finished my plans, but I should have known that you'd wait for no man. So enter, madame, if you insist.
Oh, I do. Oh, dear, poor George, living all by yourself. No furniture, all this emptiness. How can you stand it? I have to have beautiful things to surround me.
Well, there's so much to do, and it takes so long when you don't know that much about architecture. I had the help of this English builder's manual, and I've developed a good eye. Oh, that sounds immodest, doesn't it?
Terribly. Lead on, sir. If you can't give me a tour of what is, then you must show me what will be.
Your brother Lawrence would have loved your plans for the garden.
I don't want to see it as formal as before.
You must keep the roses. And George, you must plant everlastings. You know, those November flowers that can be dried after the frost and brighten our world until spring.
What a lovely thought.
You've just designed your dream house and garden. What about a dream lady? What would you like her to be? A wisp of a thing, soft and fair? Perhaps tall and dark-haired, like your Sally.
Oh, no. No, not like you. You're one of a kind, and I'd never find another.
Dear George.
George! George!
Will! Welcome home!
My dear.
George.
Friend. I can't tell you how delighted I am that you'll no longer have to travel half the day to reach our door.
You'll dine with us tonight?
Oh, no, really,
Of course you will. We have much to talk of. Every tongue in Williamsburg is wagging about the arrival of a Major General Edward Braddock with 2 regiments of British regulars.
Braddock?
He sailed into Hampton Roads last week. Oh, what a sight. Forest of sails. Boatload after boatload of real British regulars. Superbly trained and disciplined. They're amazing. They march as one man.
March where?
The general has orders from the king to take Fort Duquesne.
By God, it's about time. That fort controls the frontier.
And once taken, we can drive the French right back to Canada. Now, why so interested, George? I thought you'd turned your back on a military career.
I want you with me, since you've already tangled with the French in the wilderness. So I value your experience and advice.
Governor Dinwiddie and I...
Yes, I know all about that. But you wouldn't be someone that I would want in my military family if you hadn't also tangled with the governor. We soldiers must stick together, eh?
Yes, sir, but...
Even the governor admitted that you're someone who will fight and not just diddle away your time cooped up in some frontier fort.
But there is the matter of rank, sir.
Rank, yes. I shall make you a civilian aide without rank, Colonel. You'll get your orders directly from me, and that way no one in the regulars will outrank you. How does that strike you, sir? Are you with us?
I would be honored to serve in your family, General Braddock.
Good. Good.
And the last field must be seated by the end of the month. If the French cooperate by turning tail and leaving the Ohio to us, I should return well before first harvest.
If there is a harvest. George, this drought.
Little brother, don't even say it. We must produce 15,000 pounds of tobacco or lose my lease on Mount Vernon.
I'm Mrs. Washington.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but...
I certainly don't have to be announced to my own son. There you are. Just like your brother.
running after Mount Vernon at every opportunity.
Mother, Jack...
And you, enticing him to take care of your property while mine lies parched in the hellish sun.
But I needed Jack to finish the planting and to look after the house.
Cows so dry we must squeeze them like bagpipes for a pitcher of milk. And all you can do is steal away my John Augustine and hitch him to your plow.
George can teach me agriculture.
How? When he's hundreds of miles away in some godforsaken wilderness. And who knows if you'll ever come back, except in a box that we must put in the ground.
Mama, that's a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's true. George, how ungrateful you are for all the sacrifices that I've made for you. When your father died...
I know I am grateful. You're welcome to stay at Mount Vernon while I'm away.
If you insist.
I do.
Well,
I'll lose a light if I don't leave now. Goodbye, Mama. And I hope you don't mind that I told John Augustine to call on you with any problem that he might have.
My boy, I'd feel hurt if you hadn't. We're really family, you know?
Yes, well, thank you. I must be on my way. Goodbye.
Godspeed.
Doesn't look well. Take good care of him, Will. And say goodbye to Sally for me.
Yes, I don't know why she suddenly went running upstairs. If you could wait but a moment.
Oh, I can't. I must go.
We both hate to see you leave.
Yes, Will. Thank you for all that you've been to me.
George William.
And you to me. To all of us. Godspeed.
Yes.
Go without saying goodbye? Somehow I knew and couldn't bear to be there when you told the others. I heard everything from the top of the stairs. Why, George?
My heart is not in agriculture. I realize that now. The bearing of arms can be my only life. Great events are afoot. I mean to be a witness.
You prepared that little speech, didn't you? You haven't really answered why.
You know why.
I don't. You're being rude when you say that I do.
I enjoy your company too much. It's wrong.
It's not wrong. We're friends, nothing more.
I can't stay here any longer.
George. My father gave it to me. Now I give it to you.
I can't take it.
It will bring you good fortune, I know it will. Please keep it. Do that much for your dear friend.
Howitzers, 6 ships cannon, 14 6-pounders. To move all of this, sir, we've been promised by the colonial governors 200 wagons and 2,500 horses.
Has anyone a comment on our proposed tactics? Colonel Washington.
You're top-heavy in ordnance, sir. Transferring such heavy loads over 300 rugged miles across rivers and mountains could prove to be more difficult than any of us could imagine.
We thrive on difficulties, don't we, gentlemen?
We certainly do, sir.
Yes, sir, I'm sure you do. But to achieve victory here, you may have to alter your tactics.
And what, pray, must we do, Colonel?
Well, sir, you and your officers are new to this country. Your success has been won on European battlefields in the time-honored way. A frontal assault on an enemy army in an open field, siege of a French fort. But, sir, in this campaign, you'll be fighting Canadian French, not Continental.
What says the difference?
The Canadians, General Braddock, not only use Indians to fight, but they've also learned Indian battle tactics.
Such as?
harassment by small raiding parties, forest skirmishes by men disguised as to be almost invisible. They strike and then they run.
Invisible men who strike and run. Oh, really, sir?
British field tactics and firepower will chase your invisible men into eternity.
Precision and discipline, young man. That's how wars are won.
This could be a war like no other in history, sir. The Indians can be a fearful presence, since they engage in such barbarities as lifting scalps.
Wild talk is dangerous, sir. You will build these savages into so great a bogeyman that the common soldier will quicken his boots to face them.
Yeah.
We're grateful to our Virginia friend for his opinions, whether or not they prove instructive. You have your orders, gentlemen. Maybe some down here. Hey, look at this. Crawling with maggots. Not fit for a hog. We've received not a fraction of the supplies, nor half the wagons promised us by those damnable Virginians. I'd like to strangle that pack of scoundrels. Now sending us rotten beef. Colonel Washington! Will you kindly explain to me?
2 of your axemen, sir, slain by Indians.
What the devil are those sacks?
General, you don't want to see. They've been scalped.
Then why the bloody hell did you bring them here as if I haven't seen enough horror for one day?
But your orders were to...
Blast my orders! You provincials either totally neglect to obey my orders or you obey them when I don't want them obeyed. Take them into the woods and bury them before my men start seeing hobgoblins behind every bush.
Yes, sir.
And Colonel Washington, report to me before officers' mess. I want to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir, I'm sorry to invade your privacy. The sentry said...
Don't let this barren field embarrass you, Colonel. It'll soon be overgrown again. I wasn't angry at you today, Colonel, but at your Virginia politicians whose promises, I admit you warned me, might prove as elusive as your bloody French savages. Damn them all. British soldiers ambushed and scalped. British horses stolen. Promises broken. And so I turned to my Seneca. And as always, find comfort. Fire is the test of gold, adversity of strong men. Ever since we left Fort Cumberland, this army has moved like tar in December. At the rate we push our road every day, we shan't reach Fort Duquesne before our bones be bleached by your damnable Virginia son.
Yes, sir.
Is that all you have to say? Yes, sir? Speak your mind.
I'd divide my army, sir.
Divide an army.
The French know where we are. We're being watched every mile by their Indians. I'd leave the bulk of my supplies, wagons, horses, artillery behind to protect the road, while a smaller unit of chosen men moves ahead to surprise the enemy.
Or be attacked itself. Dangerous policy, Colonel. But we shall see. All right, let's have a look at it. When this campaign is over and we've driven the French back to Canada, I propose to find a place for you in His Majesty's service which is agreeable to your wishes.
Thank you, sir.
And there's something I'd like you to do now. I want you to ride post-haste to the governor's palace and bring back 4,000 pounds sterling for our paymaster.
Yes, sir.
Divide the army, eh? Huh.
Colonel Washington, sir. Is the master home, Benjamin? No, sir. Master Will went to Williamsburg to take his father to the doctor.
Benjamin, who is it?
It's Colonel Washington, ma'am.
Oh, there's no need to come down, Mrs. Fairfax. I'm on a mission for General Braddock, but my horse could go no further.
Benjamin, look at him. Chilled to the bone.
Well, I rode to Belvoir hoping to borrow a mount from his stable. I had no idea he'd been taken to a doctor.
Which is exactly where you'll end up if you don't get out of those wet clothes. You're shaking.
Oh, no, I'm late already. I can't stay.
Yes, you can, Benjamin.
No, I have no time. I'll ride to Alexandria. There's a public stable there.
No, you'll do no such thing.
Sally, I can't stay.
Dear, a voice of command. It's the first time I've heard it. You shall have Duke, our sturdiest horse. Benjamin, get me a cloak, please. John, would you please saddle Duke?
Yes, ma'am.
He hasn't been ridden since I took him out on the weekend, so he should be well rested. Which is what you should be before you ride on. If you rest most of the day, the storm will be over by the time you wake. I'm sure the General wouldn't mind.
He expects me as soon as possible. If you knew, Generals, you'd know I have no choice but to ride now.
You must inform us of your safe arrival at camp.
Yes.
If you wish, you can write to me. Not directly, of course, but through my sister in Alexandria.
Sally,
A certain distance must be maintained between a married woman and a gentleman who is, after all, only a dear friend.
Would you like for me to bring it out, Colonel?
No, thank you. Thank you, John. I'll take him out myself. I tried not to come back.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You're cold. You'll catch a chill.
I have a fire to warm me. You have nothing.
I'm grateful for the horse, but I'll send him back as soon as I can.
Keep him, please, until you return from the campaign.
All right, we're pulling over here. Come on, hurry up. Pull that straight line. Just stand up straight. Come on.
I've begun to fear the savages had removed your top knot.
The rains washed out the bridges. I got back as soon as I could.
Payday may be just what the men need to lift their spirits. Are you ill?
A touch of the fever, sir.
Banging headaches, agony in the belly, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
Then you've earned a rest. You'll use my bed.
General,
Rest and a nip of herb tea, the only cure.
Express rider just brought this, sir.
Thank you. Captain. See that the paymaster gets these. Off with those damn clothes.
I can rest in a wagon on the march, sir.
And have your bones rattled like dice?
But you need your bed, sir.
Colonel, you're under orders. Sergeant, this tent and this bed are not to be moved until this young man is up and about. I'll sleep in the auxiliary tent at the next encampment.
I see that you've tracked down my friend Caleb Quinn. With his help, you'll be able to reach Fort Duquesne in not much more than a week. I must be with you when you meet the French, sir.
Let me go with you now. You can hardly stand. Sergeant, help him off with his clothes. Now, if you do what you're told now, I promise that you'll be brought to the front in a litter, if necessary. You'll have your revenge.
Hey, hold up there, Colonel. Hold up. Orders are you're not to move till you get better.
You are supposed to be up ahead on the march with the general. I can make it without a witness.
Oh, you can't. You can't ride that horse the way you are. No, see there? Oh, Colonel.
Help me up.
You got a fever, sir. And I promised the general I'd take proper care of you.
Then help me up, damn it.
General's sure right. You Virginians are as fractious as mules. You always gotta have your own way.
Come on, keep in line there. Over. Over, straight line. Up, down, up, down. That's formation tight. Keep in line. Slow down. Don't drop behind. Come on, stay in line. Up, stop there, you. Get in. Get in. Get in the hand with the horses, will you? Bring it up, start behind there. Look sharp, you. Keep it in line.
Colonel Washington, you are an old man. If a man as ill as you is back in the saddle, who can stand before us? The French have not struck here at the crossing, where we are most vulnerable, and so have missed their best chance. It's a sight to warm the blood. Our troops have come out of the dark. The hobgoblin of their fears flamed before them. They feel victory in their bones. Seneca knew. It's a rough road that leads to greatness. Forward!
That's up.
How far now?
Less than 5 miles, sir. Our advanced party should be close to the enemy by now.
We'll rush the fort, Colonel, and win new glory for Old England.
Sir, I don't think a frontal attack is our best tactic.
Can we have struck them already?
Ambush, sir. Advance party under Major Gage.
Ambush! Indians! Ambush!
Soldiers do not run from battle. Form up. This shall not be. No, General, no! Form up. This shall not be. We'll drive the savages before before us.
General Braddock, this is wrong!
Stop, Colonel! Stop him! Stand your ground! Stop him! Stand your ground! Stop him, Colonel! Form up! Form up! Form up! British soldiers do not consent, Baptist! Form up! Fire back! The British soldiers not skulking cowards! Fire back! Freeze!
I can regroup my men and fight back Indian style.
Whoa, savages. We'll fight like a disciplined army and not like a rebel of cowards hiding behind trees.
General, it's not coward.
You heard me, Colonel. Drive those soldiers from out of the brush and make them fight in the open like real men. Sir! Charge them! Take them by storm! My aides! Oh, God, you, Colonel. Get them out. Get them away. Caleb, get a guard. Quickly! Get up!
Take that, son. Lift them up into the car. All right.
To
Help that. Help me. Get up. Stay with the men. Together. Hold. On up.
Colonel, help me up. I must ride on my own horse.
You're in no condition to ride, General.
Any horse will do. I must lead my men out of this benighted forest. Help me!
Come, men! Move on. Come on, Sergeant.
Keep up with us, men. Keep up with us.
My God! Virginians are protecting our rear. The French will overcome us. The French will be delayed by their own Indians who'll be scalping the dead and wounded.
Get rid of our supplies and baggage.
Captain, the wagons are moving much too slowly. We must move faster.
Colonel Washington!
What's that, sir? General?
Who would have thought it?
Water. Bring some water over here.
He's gone.
Captain, Sergeant Minor over here. Aye, sir.
Quickly, men. Destroy everything that slows us down. Come back, damn you, not the woods. Bury him in the middle of the road. There!
I'll take care of it, Colonel. That way the savages will never find his grave and defile his body. Come with me.
Officers, move out!
Battalion! Battalion! To the front!
General was a brave man.
In the wrong war.
Gentlemen, the only hope you have of survival is to protect yourselves. The French can easily send their Indians across the mountains to scalp us in our beds, so you see, you must be ready. This means a new Virginia regiment, doubly strong, even a draft to provide sufficient recruits. Above all, complete reorganization under a new command.
Governor Dinwiddie, if that is so, surely we have our new commander.
And who might that be, Mr. Fairfax?
Who else but George Washington? Wouldn't you agree he proved himself after General Braddock was mortally wounded?
Is it a wise policy to reward defeated officers with new positions of responsibility?
He knows next to nothing of the science of warfare. He has not received adequate training, and indeed, he's little more than a boy.
Well taken, sir.
But He possesses a quality which any of us aging military experts would be happy to trade for all our science and our schooling. He can lead men in battle.
Hear, hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Colonel George Washington, commander of the Virginia Regiment, raised in defense of His Majesty's colony.
I'm grateful, Governor, for your willingness to accommodate me.
Only after much travail, sir, on both our parts. The ladies await you, Colonel. Enjoy your season in the sun.
By this army of beauties, I'd appreciate it if you'd keep Sally company while I pay court to some constituents.
It would be my pleasure, as always.
The election coming up, what better way to start my campaign? It won't be long.
If you've made as much progress with your soldiering as you have with your dancing, you will succeed no matter what the odds.
Well, I certainly know where to come for encouragement, don't I?
What progress have you made in that other important matter?
What matter's that?
Your search for Mistress of Mount Vernon, of course.
I'm afraid there's been little time.
This evening is the perfect opportunity. You're the lion, the hero of the hour. With one crook of your finger, you could claim any lady in the room.
Good evening, Colonel Washington.
Good evening.
Mrs. Fairfax?
Perhaps Betsy Potts. What lovely golden hair she has. If only it were her own. Oh, there's Sarah Buffington. Sizable fortune and very available. Of course, she's been very available for quite a number of years now.
My dear Sally, you'll have me terrified at the prospect of marriage.
Is that what I'm doing?
Besides, I can't imagine dancing with other charmers when I have the loveliest of all right now.
How you've changed. You used to stammer compliments. Now you know just what I want to hear.
Please forgive us, madam, if we steal the colonel from you. Some distinguished landowners are anxious to meet their new commander.
If I might also capture you for this next dance, kind lady, I would be enchanted.
I see you've taught your aides well, Colonel. It would be my pleasure, Captain.
Colonel Washington, may I present Mr. John Blair and his wife, Mary.
Congratulations on your appointment, Colonel.
Thank you, sir.
I am honored, Colonel.
The honor is mine, ma'am.
And Mr. Daniel Park Custis and his wife, Martha.
It's a pleasure, sir. Ma'am?
Colonel, we're fortunate to have you in our service, but you have your job cut out for you. What we hear from the Shenandoah Valley is most dismaying. The Indians, incited by the French, are terrorizing the whole country.
Dear, let the Colonel enjoy his evening.
He did say 11.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're late, Colonel. His Lordship will see you now.
Gentlemen.
Without your aides.
I had hoped, Your Lordship, that you might grant us preferment.
Preferment, sir? You want your provincial regiment made regulars in the British Army? Oh, come now.
Well, as you know, Your Lordship, if General Braddock had survived, I would now have rank suitable to my wishes.
And what are your wishes, sir?
I'm a full colonel in the Virginia Regiment, sir.
And you consider that preferment for a colonelcy in the regular army?
I do, sir. I have fought the French and Indians for 4 years. I have more knowledge and experience of road building, tracking, Indian lore, and wilderness combat than any other man in the colonies.
Experience, yes. But with what results?
Your Lordship,
You led your hand-picked force to defeat a fought necessity. You were with Braddock on that disastrous march. You have commanded your own regiment for almost 2 years, and the Indian slaughters go on.
They hit and run, sir.
And you started this glorious career by assassinating the French ambassador.
It was not assassination, sir.
Was it not?
And what is it to do with my regiment's right to permanent establishment?
Right, sir? You talk of rights. You, a colonial.
I cannot conceive, your lordship, that being colonists should deprive us of the benefits of British subjects. For 2 years, we Virginians have protected the frontier with our blood. We have fought to keep this land for our king. We are as loyal to His Majesty as the staunchest of generals, and it is wrong that we should be treated as ill-favored stepchildren.
You are a subject colony, Mr. Washington, and you have no rights to any preferment in His Majesty's regular forces.
But your lordship...
Have you read Bland's treatise on military discipline?
No, sir.
Of course, you know Fawcett's, the Prussian short exercise.
No, I'm sorry, sir.
Any green coronet in His Majesty's regulars was weaned on the great Frederick's strategic concepts. Yet you, sir, a provincial who pretends to military competence, don't even know of the existence of such books.
Just because I have not read the proper books, sir, does not mean that
Your arrogance defies me, sir. Perhaps you should concern yourself more with your provincial responsibilities and less with your uniform and rank.
But your lordship...
We are at war with France, as well as the Austrian and Prussian empires. And you, sir, were the man who fired the shot that started this war. I ask you, Colonel, does that call for rights and preferment?
But your lordship...
I believe we've said all that needs be said, Mr. Washington. I bid you a safe journey back to your fort and the duties that await you there. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
My God, that is the last time I let some British lord look down his aristocratic nose at me. Arrogant! How dare he call me arrogant? Damn him and his regular...
Sir, you must not let yourself get so angry. You've still a touch of the fever.
Well, I'm all right.
Sir, you must rest away from the rigors of the army. The fever can be deadly. It's already carried off men like Jonathan Wilkes and Daniel Parke Custer.
Squire Custis? Hard to believe. So the little Custis woman is a widow. She'll not long want for suitors.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm here to offer my condolences to Mrs. Custis.
And who may I say is calling, sir?
Colonel Washington, how nice of you to call.
I only just now heard of your loss. I hope you don't mind my stopping by unannounced. I was on my way from Philadelphia, and I wanted to express my sympathy.
It's very kind of you, sir. My sister Nancy is here with her husband and a gentleman friend. Won't you join us?
No, I wouldn't think of intruding.
Oh, we'd be honored.
No, I really must be on my way.
At least stay to tea.
Well, if I may be frank, ma'am, I'm a bit indisposed.
Stomach miseries.
Yes.
I have something that might give you relief. Come with me. A bit of canary wine and a dram of pulverized hartshorn. There. Now, you see, it is the joining of one to the other that works the magic. But you must drink it all down at once. Excellent, Colonel. You don't make youth fuss the children do. Mind, I cannot guarantee a cure.
Well, I feel better already. Thank you.
Good.
I must be on my way, though. I've kept you from your guests long enough.
And the gentleman is Mr. Josiah Dinsmore, the latest matrimonial prospect my sister has brought for my inspection. I'll see you to your horse.
If it's agreeable to you, ma'am, I should like to call on you again when you're not otherwise occupied.
I would like that very much. Godspeed, Colonel.
Thank you, ma'am. Good day to you. You may go, sir.
Stuart! God, Stuart, I thought the Shawnees had done in the lot of you.
Just took a few days longer to find the French, Colonel, and a few more to escape from their main body.
Well, it's good to see you alive.
I just hope that wagon with the gifts isn't late, because our friends here are going to be wanting a little reward.
Huh?
Like it or not, they've brought you a gift.
Huh?
Show the Colonel. One Shawnee, one French corporal, sir. Not going to faint, are you, Colonel?
No, it's just a touch of the fever again, and I've run out of my medicine.
Maybe you ought to.
No, I don't think it would be wise for our friends to see their white chief with a griping belly. Brothers, this mark of your friendship, I will forever cherish. I think I'll send these to Governor Dinwiddie. Feed them, they look hungry.
Yes, sir.
I've warned you that carousing with lively wenches will put you in an early grave.
Colonel! Colonel!
It was wrong of you to wait so long before sending word you were here. And in such a state.
I didn't expect you to come. I just wanted to borrow your recipe books and some ingredients. My brother John Augustine left the cupboard almost bare when he and his passionate Hannah left us.
You've tried to talk when you should be listening to your new doctor.
Yes, I suppose I do need a new one, since the others don't seem to be able to cure me. Dr. Craik prescribed, jellies and such kinds of foods.
Yes, Breachy told me. And here we are, already prepared. And the other things you asked for. Canary wine and pulverized hartshorn.
Yes, thank you. Perhaps I'll have some of that concoction now,
How am I to prepare it?
A dram of hartshorn and a modest cup of wine.
Dr. Pratt prescribed this?
No, a friend.
I hadn't heard of it, and my uncle is a physician.
Ah,
Let me help you. Are you quite sure this helps, or is it your imagination?
Oh, well, I was sorry to miss Will before he left for England.
He just had to get away after his father passed on. It was hard on him.
Yes.
He had to go eventually to see to his inheritance, so I urged him to do so now.
Good.
George, we're going to make you well. And soon. I will nurse you and only return to Belvoir at night.
Oh, Sally.
Even then, I want you to feel I'm here with you. When you look across Dogue Run and see the candle in my window, you'll know I'm thinking of you. And perhaps you won't feel so alone.
You shouldn't have.
I want to, very much. I'm determined to see you become your old self again. I must go. But when I return, I'll bring my cures. And we'll see how they measure up to your hartshorn wine. Remember to look for the candle?
Afternoon, sir. Take your horse away. Oh, yeah. Do that.
So at least you're not dead. That was the rumor circulating in Williamsburg, probably started by the governor. Well, Mercer will be glad to hear you are still with us. The temporary command is about to ruin his health and his good sense. The men are very bare of winter clothes. The snow is up to our eyeballs.
Yes, I've written to Williamsburg on that.
I assure you, sir, the resupply will show up on the hottest day in July. I'd best be off. We all feel terrible, sir, about your having had to be cooped up here in the lonely winter gloom with nothing to do except write letters telling us what to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Breachy didn't tell me someone was here.
Mrs. Fairfax, you remember Captain Stewart, my adjutant?
Captain?
Enchanted, madam. You're to be commended, Colonel. You have discovered the perfect antidote to lonely winter gloom. Mrs. Fairfax.
But if he means these dried flowers, then...
He means you, Sally. You're a beautiful woman.
Why, sir, a compliment.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But I love compliments, George. Now, let me see. Where should we put these? Here? Or here? Where can you see them the best? Do you really like them? George, what are you doing?
I'm feeling better. I must get up.
But you can hardly stand.
No, I'm better. I'm much stronger. Sally, I'm grateful for your visits, but now you needn't come anymore.
You don't mean that.
I do.
George, it's all right that I care for you when you're sick. Will would want that. And he'd tell you so if he weren't on the high seas now, sailing for home.
But it's not right. Your winter has gone to a sick man.
You just said you were getting your strength back.
I am. See?
George.
I'm afraid I can. But you call Breachy, he can help me.
Let me help you. Put your arm around my shoulder. George.
Please call Breachy. Breachy!
I'm sorry. George. Please take good care of him.
Sir, what are you doing? I must exercise my legs. Fill my lungs with the out of doors. Sir? I've been a sick man long enough, Breachy. I have a life to get on with.
You must stay the night as our honored guest.
This time, I won't say no.
The children are ready, ma'am.
Where, oh, where can my poor children be? Oh, there they are. Jackie, this is Colonel Washington. And this is our little Martha. But we call her Patsy, don't we? Pay respects.
What a pleasure it is to be in the company of such a charming young lady. And gentleman.
Eagles away till morn and to sleep. There you go. Good night, dear children. God keep you.
Family has always meant a great deal to me. And I'm a dutiful and attentive son. Though I must confess there are times when my mother inspires more than a portion of exasperation. Seeing the pleasure that you take in Jackie and Patsy reminds me also how much I anticipate children of my own.
They are indeed, sir, a blessing from God. Though sometimes, and I borrow your word, an exasperation.
You may wonder, madam, you may indeed wonder why I feel called upon to recite to you this roll call of my obligations. Though I have carefully omitted mention of my lesser qualities, such as a temper, when sufficiently provoked. No, sometimes insufficiently. The reason is that I feel warm and at peace here in your dear presence. Forgive me, I don't know why I've been talking so much upon such early acquaintance. I'm usually more reserved with ladies. It's just that I'm not sure what I intended to say.
I, too, feel safe and at peace in your company, sir. And that is all I need to know at this moment.
Oh, George, we grow so weary of your leaving us. Goodbye can become a very unpleasant word.
He's only doing what duty tells him must be done.
General Forbes assures me that he is going to enlarge our Virginia regiment to 1,200 men. Joined with Forbes's regulars, we should present an army 3 times Braddock's, huh?
How long will you be gone?
Well, the Braddock campaign convinced me of the folly of seeing into the future. Will, I have a great personal favor to ask of you.
Ask away.
Before I knew I was going to be joining Forbes's army, I had made plans to enlarge Mount Vernon. I would be deeply grateful if you would supervise the construction in my absence.
Of course I will.
It's important that it be completed before I return.
Why the haste?
I may be bringing home a bride.
That's wonderful. Anyone we know?
It would be ungentlemanly of me to mention her name before I have won her hand. But I feel that you'll find her as charming as I do.
In that case, I wish you victory.
My apologies, madam, for the impulsiveness of this visit, but the advance on Fort Duquesne could take me away for months, and I had to talk to you first. I couldn't speak in front of your guests.
Please, don't apologize, Colonel. I would have been heartsick if you'd failed to say goodbye.
But this is not goodbye, dear madam. I know it's unfair of me to ask this of you now, when I know that I'll be facing battle. But when I return, I'm determined to make you my wife. If that would be agreeable.
You take my breath away, Colonel.
I don't mean to be so abrupt, and you need not answer now. I only had to at least make my declaration before I left.
I'm so glad you did. Will you believe me when I tell you that I have never felt this way before in my life? And you need not wait for my answer. Yes. Oh, yes, I will marry you, my dear Colonel Washington.
I know how difficult and discouraging a military campaign must be. In the meantime, George, you must take care of yourself and come safely home to us. Sally has also written you a message, which I enclose herewith.
Congratulations, Colonel. Not only have you been elected to the Burgess of Winchester, but now you enjoy the prospect of possessing Mrs. Custis. I hope you know how happy I am for you, my dear friend.
You look weary to the bone, sir.
I already have one, Mother Grici. I emphatically do not need another.
Forgive me, sir.
No, forgive me. I'm not in the best of moods. These damnable delays. We must attack Fort Duquesne before the French are reinforced, or we'll lose the chance once and for all to drive them out. I shall be fine now. Good night, Brigitte.
Good night, sir.
Dear Madam, tonight I was honored with your short but very agreeable favor. I feel the force of your beauties as I remember 1,000 tender moments. But experience, alas, sadly reminds me how impossible this is. For there is a destiny that controls our actions not to be resisted. And so, here comes a time to say farewell.
fort before the northern border and they've abandoned it.
I can't. Secure the fort. Prepare an encampment.
Yes, sir.
Battalion! 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 By the left wheel!
My career in the military is over. Finished.
Sir.
For years I have dreamed of getting revenge on the French by taking that fort. And now it's fallen without a shot. It seems that every enterprise in my life ends in some sort of disappointment.
Sir, you can't leave the army.
I've had enough of the arrogance of British regulars to last a lifetime. The French know they're defeated here in North America, and now Virginia is safe. No, it's over. It's done with it. And now finally I can live the life I want.
George.
Thank you. Thank you. We shall miss you, sir, but I can see now why you will not miss the army.
My friend.
Is he right, George? You will not miss your command?
Well, my future is to be a farmer and a husband. There'll be no British general telling me how to plow my field or love my wife.
Mr. and Mrs. Washington.
Will.
God bless you.
Thank you.
You'll be very happy.
Yes, we shall. I know it. My dear.
Godspeed.
Thank you both for everything.
Welcome home, Colonel Washington. Greetings. This is Mrs. Washington.
Ma'am?
How do you do, Breachy?
Gather yourselves together here. This is Jackie. Say hello.
Young man.
And this is our little Patsy.
Hello, Patsy.
Oh, George, it is beautiful.
John, welcome home, sir. Mrs. Washington, this is my estate manager, John Alton.
Mr. Alton, my husband has spoken so highly of you.
Mrs. Washington, welcome to Mount Vernon. We've enjoyed preparing for your arrival.
Thank you. And thank all of you for everything.
My dear, I can't wait to see if Mount Vernon meets with your approval.
It is beyond my expectations.
Well said, since it could mean anything. This way.
I meant it as a compliment.
Jackie!
Child. Child, you must watch where you run. Now, I want you to stay with Jane and be sure you keep little sister out of mischief.
Forgive my sharp tone. I must remember to defer to you in the disciplining of your children.
Our children. And I meant it when I said that you are to treat them as your own when they require correction.
My old comrades in arms would be amused to see how I handle discipline in my own home. Come. You must see the bedroom.
Just what I would have wanted. soft, warm colors and dimity curtains.
Light enough to wake us at dawn.
And a cradle. I will do my best to fill it very soon, my dearest husband.
And I will do my best, dearest wife.
Indeed you will, if our honeymoon is any measure.
I would put the latch on the door now, were it not for the children.
A promise. Oh, George, I will love Mount Vernon. I do so want to make you happy.
You already have. Mrs. Washington. Very happy.
Thomas, feed and water them. They've given us a grand run today. Gentlemen, feed and water yourselves in the parlor, eh?
It's hard to believe those dogs are the descendants of that daredevil pack we bred for Lord Fairfax so many years ago.
You know, every time I ride these hills, I think of Lawrence. I still feel his loss so deeply.
Now dear Anne has followed him. Still, I think they'd both be happy to know that Mount Vernon is yours now. Still part of the Washington family. I do believe we've lost George Mason.
Tell the ladies we'll be along.
Mason, are you all right?
I'm next door to death, George, thanks to that wicked chase you've just led me.
I thought you kept up rather well.
My horse kept up. I was left miles behind. Comes as no surprise to me that I still find the chase as disagreeable as ever. Here, take this. Now, since as a good neighbor I've subjected my posterior to this nonsense, you owe me a favor.
Anything, my friend.
Well, don't speak too quickly. Since you were elected to the House of Burgesses, you haven't attended that many meetings. I ask you to attend the next one with me.
Your influence will be felt without me.
I've heard from Benjamin Franklin, Pennsylvania's agent in London, that Lord Grenville intends to proceed with his stamp tax. Can you imagine they'd lay such an economic burden on us without even asking our opinion? Well, if he attempts it at the next Parliament, the fat will be in the fire to a fare thee well.
Why do you always expect the worst?
How can you defend a mother country that would tax her colonies without a voice in their Parliament?
We are also Englishmen. A few short years ago, we fought together against the French. We were brothers.
Brothers, yes, when they need us. But now I'm afraid they prefer we be their obedient children instead. There's the rub.
We'll continue this conversation later. There's refreshments in the parlor.
Very well, George.
Jackie! Jackie! Come down. Be quick about it.
But you went hunting, sir. Why can't I? Is there anything wrong in liking guns and horses and dogs? Mother says I'm much like you in that respect.
Yes, well, I too would have rather been in the woods at your age. But books permit you to plunder the wisdom of the ages. Mathematics will help you to survey the vast lands that you'll one day own.
Can't I pay someone to do it?
Down. Quick. Give me the gun. Stop it. But learn to depend upon your own skills, Jackie, or you become as helpless as so many sons of the gentry. Now, come.
Jackie? Jackie! Why'd you run off this way?
Mama, my head aches. I can't read anymore today. May I rest in my room till I feel better?
Dear.
Let's just send him back to his books and no more about it.
I really feel quite awful, Mama.
Now run along, then.
Thank you, dear Mama.
Let's see. He spent the forenoon resting in a tree, the afternoon in his room. Pray, madam, how will he spend the night?
You think I spoiled him?
Pink! But I promise not to say any more on that subject, and I must hold to my word.
George. Colonel Washington, wait for me. Don't walk so fast. George, each time I try to be strong with him, and each time I fail, I am sorry. Please, don't walk so fast.
Gentlemen, order. Order, gentlemen, order. We have strayed too far from our purpose, gentlemen.
Which is the introduction of new legislation. Now, does anybody else wish to... The chair recognizes the gentleman from Fairfax County, Mr. Washington.
Honorable members, I beg your indulgence to introduce a bill of some consequence to our community's well-being. I propose to prohibit, on pain of a fine of 15 shillings, all pigs from wandering free so that they drink and even bathe in our springs and horse troughs.
Pigs, George. Pigs. When you should be concerned with British blindness and arrogance.
Oh, I felt it was important.
I warned you our Prime Minister would force passage of this diabolical Stamp Act. All violators to be tried in courts of the Admiralty, without juries.
But I understand that the proceeds are to be used for the protection of the colonies.
Damn it all, George, we can protect ourselves. And tax ourselves. Besides, it's the principle of the thing, George. They wouldn't allow us a seat in their parliament, so they have no right to tax us. However, they disguise it as a bloody stamp.
Well, what can we do?
George, we must learn to defend ourselves. It's your duty to help ignite resistance to this tax.
Nathan, I have fought for my country and my king, and I do not need you to remind me of my duty.
George, it strikes even at the freedom of the press. All of our newspapers, all of our legal documents, even our playing cards must be on stamped paper. How can you ignore what's happening to us?
If I choose to not add fuel to the
fire, that's my right.
But men like you must stand forth.
I have done my service, sir. I leave this fight to others.
Any attempt to vest such power in any other parliament destroys British as well as American freedom.
Order! Let Patrick Henry continue!
If I have offended the Speaker or my fellow burgesses, I ask your pardon as a junior member. I would show my loyalty to His Majesty to the last drop of my blood. But this assembly has the sole right to lay taxes upon the inhabitants of this colony. Julius Caesar had his Brutus. Charles I his Cromwell. May George III... May George III profit by their example. If this be treason, make the most of it.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us produce more compelling historical content like this, please like, comment below, and share this video with fellow history buffs. And of course, be sure to subscribe to help keep history happening.